Hi guys, Linnea here. It's still very early in the morning, so I'm still having coffee in my bear cup. I wanted to talk to you, do another requested video, and this one is about the most powerful protection and binding or banishing spells. So, I have my recipe book handy, so I can give you my recipes. I will say this. There are a lot of very powerful protection spells. If you want to protect your house or your property, I highly suggest making an herb mixture that includes sulfur, sugar if you're having trouble in your house with people getting along, rosemary, basil, agrimony, mandrake, and angelica, a little bit of pennyroyal, some peppermint to bring prosperity, some ginger to bring prosperity, and mixing that up really well and spreading it around your property. I think I did a video on that. I'm pretty sure I did, of me spreading that mixture around my house, around my property, the whole fenced area, which is huge. I have about an acre of land here, so, or maybe a half acre or 3/4, somewhere in there. So that's one very powerful spell. Another very powerful spell is chalk. Putting sigils or symbols or protection things, you know, like I said, symbols on your walls with chalk, and then going over them with a protection oil and your finger. This hides the chalk and also gives you an added boost of protection. Another very, very successful protection spell type thing is to enchant your jewelry, enchant your glasses, enchant your hair ties, enchant anything that's on you, your rings, your necklaces, your amulets, you should be very protected when you go out in public from things like negative energy, the evil eye, envy, that type of thing. You want to be protected from all of that. Let's see. Other powerful things for protection is just a candle spell in your room or your house for protection. Another one is red brick dust. Wash down your porch with it. Put it around your windowsills. Put it around your doorways. That's powerful protection. And a ward in your house is powerful protection. A ward could be anything. A little statue, I'm trying to think of things. I want to show you my ward in my house. I have two. One's in the living room. But this toad is the other one. It's got a little baby on its back. This belonged to my mother-in-law. And I use this in my witchy room as a ward of protection. In my living room, I have a little vase and bowl that go together, and I use those as a ward in my living room for protection of my house. So those are some good ideas for protection. As far as spells go for protection, I personally use a jar spell. And I'll tell you the herbs I add to it in just a second. But that's what I use. I use an herb spell. A jar spell. And I do that because I find that they are the most powerful. When it's done being cast, you can keep the jar in your house on a shelf or under a cupboard. It doesn't matter where you keep it, just so it's in your home. And so to do a jar spell, you would add a petition that says something to the effect of protection in my home. You might add a sigil or a symbol to it as well on your petition. And then you would add your herbs. The herbs that I add to a protection jar are, let me pull it up. Protection. I want to be sure I tell you every one of them. So here we go. Okay, would be sage. I forgot sage in that home circle of herbs. You know, the strew that you make to put around your home. Sage is very important. So sage, basil, pine, cedar, lavender, rose petals, stems or hips, agrimony, mandrake, and angelica, ginger, pennyroyal, and peppermint. Those are the herbs that I would put in a protection jar. And then I always, when I make a protection jar, I use a black candle on top. I use a black candle for power, for extra energy. A lot of people use white candles, and that's fine too. I believe that black candles hold every color, and therefore they are more powerful. And that's just my opinion. These are all just my opinions. So you would put everything in the petition, in the jar, along with your petition and symbol. You might put a picture of your family or a picture of your home, something to that effect. And then as you do this, you enchant each herb. You enchant it by visualizing what you want the outcome to be. Protection from burglary, protection from thieves, protection from negative energy, protection from the evil eye, envy, whatever it is that you want protection from. You enchant those herbs as you put them in, and you're visualizing the outcome. You're visualizing that it's already true. So you do that, and then you seal it, and you put the candle, you burn the bottom and stick it on top of the jar, and you burn the candle. Do not leave it unattended. It's going to be a chime candle or something to that effect, and you don't want to leave, that's Rosie, a chime candle unattended. But burn the candle on it till it's completely done, and then put it somewhere in your house where you feel it would be successful. It can be in your witchy room. It could be in your living room under a table. It could be under your kitchen cupboard, in a windowsill, depending on how decorative the jar is. Just put it someplace where it can be safe. And that, to me, is the most powerful protection spell, along with strewing, along with chalk and oils, red brick dust. I do a lot of it. I do a lot of it because I need my house to be very protected, and I'm kind of in the closet in my state here. I live in Texas, and in the bigger cities like Houston or Dallas, being a witch is pretty accepted, but I live in a very small community where it's not accepted. So I'm very careful about how I do things and the protection. So there's that. That's for protection. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. As far as binding and banishing goes, before you burn that candle on your protection jar, be sure you rub it with protection oil and use some of those protection herbs, just a little bit, to roll that candle in. It just gives it more oomph, more power. Okay. For binding or banishing spells, I do the same thing. I use a jar. I use a jar because I find that they are most effective, most powerful. And that's what I was asked for, the most powerful. So for binding or banishing, the herbs you would use, I'm looking to see. I found the banishing, but I'm looking to see if I can find the binding. I do them together. I do banishing and binding together. I don't want to just banish someone or something from my life. I want to bind it so it can't come back. So I use both. So for banishing, it's a little trickier. There's a lot more ingredients. So you're going to use thorns or stickers, and that's to poke holes in the either spells that are coming at you, or to poke them back as they've poked you. Show them their pain as they've given to you. That type of thing. Banishing. Black salt, which you should also use in a strew that you're putting around your home. Pine needles, black pepper, pepper flakes, coffee, graveyard dirt, red brick dust, rue, chili powder, cayenne, and I would say a little sage, just because you want to keep yourself protected of anything coming back at you due to this spell. And then angelica, mandrake, and agrimony. So you're going to add all those to your jar. For binding, you would add cayenne, red peppers, which you've already added. You've already added both of those. A habanero pepper. You've added pepper flakes. Colt's foot. You've added mandrake. Rose. You're putting the rose in there for many reasons. First of all, it's protection, but also because you want to give love in a way to this person so that they're happier and not so evil, and that they stay away. Calendula for the same reason. Lavender to calm them down. Chamomile to calm them down. Cascarilla, which is just powdered eggshells. And angelica, which you've already added because you've done the banishing spell. So you would put those herbs in your jar together. And then you would, looks like my book is coming apart. And then you would use some banishing or binding or both oil. Remember to keep a few of those herbs out so you can roll your candle in it. You'd put a petition in your jar. In the petition, you're going to write the person's name or the thing's name. If you want to quit smoking, a banishing spell is good for that. You're going to banish smoking. So you want to write a petition, and you're going to put it 3 times. You're going to put, I no longer smoke cigarettes. I no longer smoke cigarettes. I no longer smoke cigarettes. Then you're going to turn it to the right. No, I'm sorry. You're going to turn it to the left because this is something you're getting rid of. You're pushing it away. So turn your petition to the left and sign it 3 times right across what you've written. And then you're going to fold it away from you. And you're going to fold it 3 times. Put it in your petition. You can put a cigarette in your petition or tobacco. Put it in your jar. You can put a cigarette or tobacco or just a rough drawing of someone smoking, anything like that, a picture of you with a cigarette. Anyway, put it in your spell jar. Be sure you enchant as you go with each herb and your petition, visualizing what the outcome is, and then seal your jar the same way you would with a protection jar. You close it up, you put the black candle on top that you've rolled in the oil and herbs, and you burn till it's gone. Another thing to remember is when you're doing this against a person, protection is really, really important. My witchy room has more than one symbol on every wall that I've written in chalk, and I go over about every 30 to 60 days and do it again. And the reason is because I do spell casting for other people, and sometimes it is binding and banishing against a person. I don't want that coming back at me. Another thing is you can set your jar on a mirror, especially a protection jar, and it will enhance the spell. Now, when you're doing binding or banishings against a person, especially if you suspect they could be a witch or be doing magic, you want to put a mirror, but you want to put another on top of it face down. The reason you do this is it gives it power, but it keeps them from seeing you. Another thing you can add to both of these jars, protection and banishing or binding, is a piece of snake skin. It keeps the invisibility up, so they don't see you, they can't harm you. If it's a protection spell, it keeps the invisibility up, say, because you're in the closet, or you want to keep your house low-key. You don't want anyone, getting any ideas about thievery or burglary. So snakeskin is a great addition to either of those spells. So I hope this is what you wanted to hear. I hope to hear from you soon about more suggestions, guys. I really am ready for some more. I love you. I think about you guys every day. I don't always get to do a video every day, but I do think about you every day and about getting something out and helping. So remember, your divine, sacred beings of light and love. I love each and every one of you with all my heart. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in and being interested in what I have to say. And blessings to you all. Stay safe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.